Hey guys, I'm RNG Gamer. I play all my games randomly. Last up, we have a game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. I've never heard anybody ever mention this. I've never seen anybody play it. I've seen it in tons of bargain bins over the years. It's from 1986, and it's Ninja Kid. So I had to look this up, but this is based on some manga series that no one in the United States has ever heard of. So they just turned it to like a generic platformer game. I played this game for about an hour and I could not figure out just what the hell was going on. I couldn't figure out how to play the game. I didn't have the manual for it, so I had to look up online how to play this game. And once I did, it sort of made sense. Not completely, but enough to let me make some progress in the game. There's this overhead map with these different side-scrolling stages, and these stages all have different objectives. Things like kill all of the enemies, or light all of the candles, or collect all the ghosts. After you do whatever they want you to do, two different doors appear. One leads to a boss, and the other one just takes you back out to the map. You get to skip the boss, but it's totally random. As a matter of fact, every level is completely randomized, so don't think you're gonna like memorize where things are. You just have to learn the mechanics and figure out how to do each stage. And one of the stages on the map will be a scroll that you have to locate, and it's hidden in the stage. And after you find the scroll, it will unlock the overworld's boss. Sometimes you can skip some of the stages, sometimes you can't. You have to play through all of them, but once you find the scroll, you're good to go. Unless it forces you to play through some of the other randomized stages. But the gameplay feels a lot like the game Defender. It's these small horizontally scrolling stages that just kind of loop infinitely. But it doesn't play like Defender. As a matter of fact, it plays kind of like crap. You have these really slippery controls with either too much or not enough inertia. The enemies fire at you the second they appear on screen, and it's really hard to avoid them. And the stages where you have to freaking light the candles is super annoying because the little AI flame buddy guy you have that's following you around, he won't do what he's supposed to do. He won't do it. He stands next to like an unlit candle and just kind of hangs out there, and you have to tap over one pixel at a time to slowly nudge him closer, and sometimes he does it, sometimes he, it's just, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes he'll move, a quarter of the way across the screen to light a candle, and sometimes he won't go at all. It's really annoying when enemies are just berating you from all sides. Also, half of the enemy bullets, you can just freaking barely see them. They're just not pronounced enough to be able to locate them. They'll be white or light gray on a white background. It's really tough, and I've had quite a few runs ended because of bullets I just did not know were there. The game just looks bad. Even for like an early NES game, it has this jarring and unappealing color palette that is really off-putting. I don't like it. It's very saturated and their color choices are bizarre. And the music is also nothing to write home about. And of course, like many early NES games, it's very annoying and repetitive and just uses the same theme over and 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 over. And you'll be playing this game a lot if you get into it because you're gonna die all the time and have to restart. You're gonna hear this music a lot. Eventually, I just turned the sound off. I just played in silence. I couldn't handle it anymore. I like the premise of this game with the random levels and finding your scroll. It reminds me kind of almost like a primitive roguelite in a way. But it just plays like freaking hot garbage. The trick to this game is that you just slowly kind of tap your way forward because the enemies fire as soon as you get on screen, as soon as they get on screen. So you need to like take them out as soon as you can. So you're just shooting and tapping and shooting and tapping and shooting and tapping and shooting and tapping. And that's the only way I was able to have any success, especially on the levels where you just have to kill everybody. I really wanted to like this game, but it's just a chore to play. It really is. I think if you could take more than one hit, it might be better, or if you could at least beat the game, it might give you something to strive towards, but truthfully, it's just the same thing over and over and over again, with the levels getting more progressively difficult. This game is just from that time period where they just were stuck in the arcade mindset. It's all about getting the high score, not beating the game or having an adventure. It's just racking up points. So they want you to like manipulate the game to maximize your score. And these days, and especially for me, I'm not really interested in doing that. I don't want to perfect this game. I just want to finish and experience the game. I played it for several hours. I got far into it. I was able to beat a few overworld levels, but it's just the same thing over and over and over again. So while I applaud Bandai for making this game and coming up with some unique ideas, especially for an early Nintendo game, it's just not that much fun. I wanted to like it, but it ended up being a very mediocre experience. Ninja Kid on the NES, sadly, is like a 5 out of 10. It could have been so much better.